In today's news, Mather laments no budget funds for rebuilding of ALTHEA SCATLIFFE Primary School. FAHIE trial pushed back 2 more weeks. Smith calls for more sustainable approach to cleaning up the territory. 2024 reform deadline likely to be met, says PS STOUTT-IGWE, and LIAT to cease operations on January 24th. On the regional scene, 4 killed in plane crash off St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns. One Stop Auto, located in the R&R Malone Complex, Parkwood Pond, is having a huge liquidation sale on all inventory, excluding vehicles and genuine Toyota and Lexus parts. Get no less than 50% off all items on shelves and inventory room. Items such as car covers, steering wheel covers, wipers, sealants, chemicals, emergency cones, adhesives, license plates frames, air filters, oil filters, front brakes, rear brakes, front rotors, rear rotors, radiators, shocks, and much more. A specific listing of all makes and models for which parts are available at liquidation prices will be posted on our Facebook page. Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman with yours truly, Ron Grant, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 5, a 284 Media production. Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Friday, January 5th, 2024. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Friday's wish to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your time. Beginning our newscast on the local scene, Territorial At-Large Representative the Honorable Stacey Mather has expressed disappointment over the absence of funds in this year's budget to reconstruct the ALTHEA SCATLIFFE Primary School. The school was demolished in 2023 following structural integrity concerns that led to its abrupt closure.
Now, Madam Speaker, I want to go right here on this one here because it's born in me. Madam Speaker, April next year will be an entire year since the home of the Striders, the mighty SCATLIFFE, has been demolished. Madam Speaker, from 1994 to 1998, I sat in that school and I taught. More children in this country, on this island, have been to that establishment. There's no money in the budget to draw a plan.
He urged the government to find creative solutions to move the project forward, suggesting engaging alumni who would support rebuilding efforts.
Madam Speaker, again, I go back to this. We have to find creative ways to do things. If the alumni coming out of that school is so vast, why haven't we engaged them? Why is someone from ALTHEA SCATLIFFE not drawing that plan? And the member for the 5th that is in your district as well. So a lot of the persons that voted for us come from the 5th district. It is time to engage the alumni at our school because they will do things. They will do things for the school. But we sit in here twiddling our thumbs saying we don't have money in the budget. And we can't find a person or persons whether living in the territory or abroad to help us draw that school and figure it out. All they have there is bush. Maybe we need to send somebody from the rated program to cut the bush there too.
Mather stressed that the reconstruction could also be an opportunity to reimagine the institution to meet best practices and the needs of the territory.
I hope in 2024 we figure it out. Because the young people of our territory deserve a school in town. And it doesn't have to be the same facility that went back there. Maybe we need to consider doing a building or a system for gifted children in the BVI. Maybe it is time to take our exceptional children, the ones who are going to be at the higher level of our society in terms of the jobs that we know are needed, and put it there. There's a program in the States, Madam Speaker, and I'm going to say it in this house, everybody go on Google, called KIP, Knowledge is Power Program in the US. Let's bring it. Let's figure it out so that all young people are given something that advances them instead of trying to create an average society.
The trial of former British Virgin Islands Premier Andrew A. Foy on drug and money laundering charges has been delayed by another 2 weeks, now scheduled to begin January 22nd. Foy faces charges of drug smuggling, money laundering, and racketeering in Miami court. The recent postponement allows for hearings on various motions filed recently by prosecutors and the defense. Judge Kathleen Williams will hear argument on matters including foreign law, jury instructions, expert witness testimony, hearsay evidence, and a possible entrapment defense. Foy's lawyer previously objected to what she calls the prosecution's 11th hour motions raised just weeks prior to the planned start. She argued they presented crucial issues too late. Foy was arrested along with former BVI Ports Director Overleen Maynard in Miami in April of 2022. They allegedly agreed to allow large cocaine shipments through the BVI ports, part of the multi-million-dollar deal with a DEA informant posing as a trafficker. Maynard's son, Kadeem, was recently sentenced to some 57 months for his role. Overleen accepted a plea deal and is expected to be the key prosecution witness. Foy faces possible life imprisonment if convicted. And viewers, up next, we have more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you, know?
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I watching ball. I even watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Today, I am doing cobble treatments with Beyond the Reef. Today, we are doing shark research. So today, we are doing whale research with Beyond the Reef. And wherever I go, I take CCT with me because my life is unlimited.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Continuing on the local scene, Deputy Premier of the Virgin Islands, Lorna Smith OBE, recently called for a more sustainable approach to cleaning up the territory.
We have to find a way to clean our country up in a sustainable fashion. We talked about it in our meeting. We talked about maybe getting Public Works more involved, but whatever it is, we have to get it done.
Smith voiced frustration over bureaucracies and roadblocks affecting the government's ability to clean up sections of the British Virgin Islands in a timely manner. Smith pointed to years-long delays in removing derelict boats stuck in the territory BVI shorelines since the hurricanes of 2017, Irma and Maria. She said recently Nanny Key volunteered to clean up some vessels in the Seacoast Bay area.
I'm pleased to say that through, if you want to call it a PPP, in fact, Nanny Key was quite willing. In fact, they have agreed to clean up, or in fact to remove three of the wrecks that's closest to them, and then they will remove more of them. But again, the bureaucracy involved, I hear that we have to gazette any such decision or any such plan for 2 months before we can act. So, Leader of the Opposition, we could be at this for a few years. I hope not. But the bureaucracy sometimes, you know, it's overpowering.
The Deputy Premier expressed hope that the boats will finally be removed this year.
I am told that a request for proposals will be out shortly in terms of the broader or the wider program. And I too am hopeful that the wrecks will all be removed by the end of 2024.
Permanent Secretary Mrs. Carolyn STOUTT-IGWE recently dubbed the May 2024 deadline for the implementation of the recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry report unfeasible.
Well, I believe the governor will probably speak to the extension if necessary, but I would say that it is not feasible for a couple reasons. As I said earlier, we've had some delays, and like if you look at the November report, you will see that there are some actions that have not been started, and the major reason for that is that new legislation is required based on the recommendations. And I would say here that in looking at the recommendations made by Sir Gary Hickenbottom, he basically assumed that from all the reviews from the statutory boards and some of the other reviews that it would lead to new legislation. And that is not necessarily going to be the case. So if the recommendation already says, for example, implement statutory board legislation, but if having done the reviews, it is determined that legislation is not necessary, it means that that particular recommendation will never be marked complete.
She cited delays and required legislative actions that have not yet started based on some recommendations.
As the Premier has said on more than one occasion, the government recognized that a number of the deadlines were ambitious. So we've had to go through the process of asking for some extensions to some of the deadlines, and there have been various reasons. One of the things that came this morning as I thought about it, you know, we had our elections last year, and there were some dates that were in there. Nobody thought about the fact that House is going to be dissolved, so if you're trying to get reports to the House of Assembly, they can't go. If you're trying to get legislation to the House of Assembly, can't go. So we've had some delays like that. We've also had some delays where there were delays in appointing some of the reviewers. In a number of cases, it required that the governor and the Premier agree on the name of the reviewer. So there were some delays, and then sometimes there were persons who were identified, and then based on the time frame, some persons could not start the review again. So that was a tedious process, I can tell you, because we were calling some persons, and then for various reasons persons had been identified, and then they couldn't do it. So we've had some delays with that. We've had some of the external, like the governor's office will talk about their 2 reviews that they're responsible for, and there were some delays in getting there started with respect to the vetting of law enforcement officers. That's a major one, and looking at some of the law enforcement needs. So we've had various reasons, but from where I sit, Angela, it's been a lot of work behind the scenes.
She also at a time shared some insight on where the progress currently stands.
In terms of completion, we've done a number of the recommendations have been completed. Based on our November report, it would have stated that we are at about 61% completed. In November, at the end of November, we had one of our major recommendations completed, in the sense that the Constitutional Review Commission submitted their report. So that was a major milestone for us. It's already gone to Cabinet, and it's on its way to the House of Assembly, and then we'll have the public discourse as to what exactly is in that report. But over the past 2 years, a number of reviews have been completed, reports on statutory boards, review on government ministers contracting with government, discretionary powers. We've had a number. We've had one on immigration and residency, belonging status and residence. We've had a number of audit reports that have been completed over the past months. We still have a few to complete. And I also want to say that even though we don't have everything that's marked completed, we do have substantial work that has been completed along the way.
On the regional scene, regional airline LIAT has announced it will wind down operations and close on January 24th. LIAT, founded in 1956 as Leeward Islands Air Transport, has been owned by Caribbean governments since 1974, but the airline collapsed in 2020 amid rising debt and the COVID-19 pandemic's impact, leaving hundreds unemployed. In a letter last week, LIAT's court-appointed administrator Cleveland Seaforth notified over 90 employees they will be made redundant as commercial flights cease. Workers will not receive severance payments currently, but were promised LIAT will meet its obligations. A few staff will remain temporarily to assist with shutdown. Seaforth thanked employees for their service during LIAT's attempted scale-back relaunch in the late 2020 on a limited schedule. The closure marks the end of an era for the iconic Caribbean carrier. Pilots and staff have been fighting for owed severance and entitlements, since LIAT's 2020 failure. Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister previously said LIAT would be liquidated and reformed under a new airline, LIAT 2020 Limited, but operations continue to wind down amid mounting financial troubles. The collapse left many employees and regional travelers stranded. And up next, we have more on the regional scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service. Alright, do enjoy the rest of it. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
One Stop Auto, located in the R&R Malone Complex, Parkwood Pond, is having a huge liquidation sale on all inventory, excluding vehicles and genuine Toyota and Lexus parts. Get no less than 50% off all items on shelves and inventory room. Items such as car covers, steering wheel covers, wipers, sealants, chemicals, emergency cones, adhesives, license plates, frames, air filters, oil filters, front brakes, front rotors, rear rotors, radiators, shocks, and much more. A specific listing of all makes and models for which parts are available at liquidation prices will be posted on our Facebook page.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you so much for sticking with us. On the regional scene, a small plane crash shortly after takeoff from the island of BEQUIA, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has left 4 people dead, including an American man and his 2 young daughters. The fatal crash occurred on Thursday. Authorities said the single-engine aircraft departed JFK Mitchell Airport just after 12 p.m. local time, headed for nearby St. Lucia, when disaster struck. They said, and I quote, "Moments after taking off, the aircraft experienced difficulties and plummeted into the ocean." There were 4 people aboard the doomed flight. The passengers were identified as 51-year-old actor Christian Kelpser, a U.S. citizen, and his daughters, 10-year-old Medita and 12-year-old Anik. The pilot was Robert Sachs, who also owned the plane. Kelpser, who went by the stage name Christian Oliver, appeared in major movies such as Speed Racer and BEQUIA. He recently had a part in the latest installment of the Indiana Jones franchise. Among his first roles in the U.S. was a long-standing stint on Saved by the Bell, the new class in 1995. He also appeared as an actor in the hit video game Medal of Honor, Above and Beyond. During his career, Kelpser appeared in major movies such as Speed Racer and the Vicodin film. In addition to that, after crashing into the sea near Paget Farm, local fishermen and divers rushed to the scene in boats to render assistance. The country's Coastal Guard responded as well in the search and recovery efforts. Following an initial search of the crash site, the bodies of the American father and his 2 daughters, along with the pilot, were retrieved from the water, authorities confirmed. The cause of the catastrophic crash remains under investigation, and upcoming autopsies will determine the exact cause of death for each of the victims. Police said the plane was en route to nearby St. Lucia when it experienced unknown difficulties and went down just moments after taking off. The New Life Baptist Church will be hosting a free financial management seminar from January 10th to the 12th, 2024. Bishop John Ivan CLINE recently visited our studio in discussion of the event and the importance of proper financial management.
I don't even think it's just for the congregation.
Understood.
Yeah, of course, we focus on the congregation because that's where we are. But in terms of people's lives, there are a lot of persons who don't really understand money and what money is and how it flows. There's a lot of persons living from paycheck to paycheck. There's a lot of persons who believe because their incomes are low that they can't save or they can't invest. Consequently, they end up later on in their lives with no plan, no financial plan, and they are at the mercies of either family or Social Security or social development and so on and so forth. Whereas if they had the information and the knowledge base to make better decisions financially, they can better manage their affairs, no matter how little it is, how much it is, because there are persons who also make a lot of money but don't know how to save it. They spend all they make. So it is to get the information to the people so that they can make better decisions for their future, because a saving and investment now is there to replace your paycheck later.
Understood.
Basically, you are planning that the day you don't have to work or can't work, for whatever reason, we can get into that a little bit more, because there are 2 different things. One is I don't want to, and the other one I can't.
I'm unable to. Yeah.
Yes, that you have created what many call a nest egg, or you have planned your financial life so that there is no deficit.
Understood.
In your quality of life.
He also reflected on his own journey with financial management and how he has been able to evolve over the time.
You know, I learned some basic economic principles from my mother. The son of 14, or the 10th of 14 children, see her have to feed all of us on a salary of my father at that time that I remember. The earliest I remember when she said, your father make $8 a day, and that's $40 a week, 5 days a week, and have to spread that to feed persons. And she taught me how to save and how to value what I buy. So it's not just the cost of a thing, but the value of a thing, and how do you value that. So when I got my first job working at Water and Sewage, making $54 a week, I used to give her 25. I saved 10 and I had 15 to spend, basically, of $50. I think it was like $4 in taxes or something like that. And I kept that principle throughout my life. So whether I was making, $200 or $2,000 or $200,000.
The principle remained.
The principle remained.
Understood.
So that foundation, and that's why it's important for parents to teach their children good work ethics, savings, and not just entitlement. The money I have is mine. It's not my children's, it's mine. They will have to make their own money.
Understood.
They will inherit, if I plan well, they will inherit what I leave behind, because the Bible says a good man leave an inheritance for his children, not even them, their children. But that's where I learned that. So it didn't matter where I was living, whether in America, BVI, or wherever.
Understood.
The principle remained the same.
Additionally, he stressed that the discipline of saving is based on a build up and indeed a discipline for future investments.
You further then go and learn about investments. I was living in New Jersey. I started hearing about stocks and bonds, had nothing to know. So I started buying the Wall Street Journal, trying to interpret what I was seeing, and stocks, and and then I joined this company. They introduced 401k, and what it is, they're investing in the market for it to grow, and you understand pensions, and you understand. So you start investigating until you gather a knowledge base over 30, 40 years, and this is what persons don't understand. This is not some automatic, overnight, get-rich-quick something. You have to investigate where you're going to invest.
Viewers, that is it for today's News Roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, and of course, like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. I will see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. Of course, tomorrow I will be bringing you the weekly roundup, just in case you missed any of our content. Until then, have a safe and enjoyable evening. Happy Friday. Goodbye.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Why? This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you,
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCTLIFE.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, I watching ball. I even watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hooked, I tell you.
Rashford made it. Manchester United have come from behind to lead.
At home or on the go, watch CCT Live. Download our app and carry your favorite TV shows, news, or live sports anywhere you go. Visit cctbvi.com/live, select your package, and tune in.
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of it. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come. Yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top-Up Turn-Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top-Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?